All right, next for us here tonight, a changing of the guard within Buffalo's Common Council. It's President Darius Pridgeon set to vacate his seat when his term ends next month.
And his replacement could have a larger impact on you than normal.
Yeah, the council president would take over as mayor if Byron Brown were to exit office early. And Brown has, of course, not closed the door on leaving for another position. 4
current council members have expressed interest in this president's seat.
Each of them made their case to our 7 News reporter Kristen Moran today as they seek to become the council's next leader.
For the first time in about a decade, Buffalo's Common Council will be choosing a new council president.
It's your colleagues willing to put you in that position. It's a tremendous honor.
And they set the agenda and they set the vision that they have for the council. And that's what I think is so critical.
Current council president Darius Pridgeon is not seeking re-election and will finish his term next month. That will leave the seat open for 4 council members interested in being the next president. South District Council member Chris Scanlon, Fillmore District Council member Mitch Nowakowski, Niagara District Council member David Rivera, and University District Council member Wyatt.
I've been in leadership, council leadership for the past 8 years, and we've done some good things, and I'd like to be able to build upon that.
I think that if I can ascend to council president, it'll show not only young people, but also LGBTQ people that we belong in the power structure.
I felt comfortable in leadership. And I look forward to, if elected, council president to continue to do the work that I have done.
I think that with my experience and expertise and being on the council for a number of years makes me a viable candidate.
Scanlon tells me if elected, he would lead an independent council while also working collaboratively with the mayor's administration.
I think the fact that I'm willing to collaborate and operate in a practical manner, I think we all have strong beliefs and things we hold close to us, but I tend to try to view things through a practical application and how they would impact people throughout the city of Buffalo.
At 32, Nowakowski could make history as the youngest council president.
I want to show the city of Buffalo residents that change is coming and change is good. And although I thank a lot of the senior representatives and elected officials throughout the city who have really worked hard and dedicated their lives to public service, that there is a generational shift and that newness is okay.
Rivera comes with years of experience serving as majority leader for part of that time. He tells me he brings a unique perspective understanding the need of each council district.
I'm not only focused on my district and leadership, so I got kind of a broader view of the city. In my capacity, I've negotiated for all 9 council members equally and evenly. I've been able to go downstairs and deliver for the council members at the same time.
Wyatt, who tends to march to the beat of his own drum, is community focused and says he's committed to getting Buffalo's fiscal house in order.
I think that the things that we've stood for as far as making certain that we address the needs of the community of the city is one that is very important. And most importantly is the independence of the Common Council. That's extremely important to me. And I think that those are the things that if I were council president, I would continue.
Mayor Byron Brown is reportedly in the running to become the next president of Buffalo State and is also considered a strong contender to replace retiring Congressman Brian Higgins. Should he leave before the end of his term in 2026, the council president will become the acting mayor.
I think I'd be ready to step in and do what I had to do in the interim.
I would be ready, willing, and able to take on that task and serve the city of Buffalo.
I feel that I have the ability, that I would surround myself with the people that's needed to run this city.
I'm ready for that. I mean, a lot of the things that we fought for or fight against were because the administration put a roadblock in it.
And council members will be choosing a new president at the reorganizational meeting on January 2nd. In City Hall, Kristen Moran, 7 News.